going live.
I'm
Okay.
not in.
Well, get in there, motherfucker.
You know.
Alright. Hold on.
You're watching the Otherwise Podcast. You're watching the New One Live. You're watching the Otherwise Podcast. You're watching the New One Live. You're watching the Otherwise Podcast. You're watching the New One Live. You're watching the Otherwise Podcast. You're watching the New One Live.
Dad.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the New Watch. We'll take it from here. I'm Jimmy, and with us, as always, is Talking Tony.
Shut the fuck up while I'm talking.
And also,
I
we
can,
got a old blast from the past with us, fucking Sean Punnery.
Morning, everybody.
I can hear that playing through my speakers.
I heard it too this time. It was a good
I wonder,
cue.
Really?
yeah,
Is it because my microphone's fucking up, or is it because the Discord is doing it now?
It would have been your microphone, but it was so faint that we could just hear it as a cue. So that was good.
Good. Okay, well, good and bad, but good. I hope I don't pick up an echo or not. I'm not echoing, am I?
good morning, people.
No, you're fine.
No,
All right, good.
good morning, people.
We were having a fucking steaming hot debate before we fucking came on the air. That's why. Well, I was late, first of all, but and second of all,
They know it was you.
Tony and Sean made us later though, so that's what it is.
Well, we usually do our show pre-prep, then start the show. So,
Well, we were having a good conversation talking about well, it started off. Fuck, I'm trying to recreate magic here. It started off. We were talking about Ted Cruz saying that video games were to blame for the Texas murders, and then it kind of went from there.
It went on to let's blame the shield and not the sword in New York.
Yeah.
That's a good topic. I can't wait to dive into that.
Oh yeah, that's coming, but I just don't know because that conversation was so hot. I don't want to drop it before we move on to something else. But kind of see if we can catch that momentum back. I don't know.
Okay, we'll do it live.
Yeah, hell yeah.
say, that's why I said a couple months ago we should just start this fucker and then do the show pre-prep and then the intro and go
Well, yeah,
live.
I
All
know,
of it.
I know that, but we tried it and it failed. I mean, it didn't
But
fail, but it was.
what, like a green room pre-show
Yeah.
live?
Everything that we just did right now would have been on the fucking air.
Nice.
And then I do the intro, and that's where we get our fucking streams crossed.
Oh, that'd be
So-
kind of
Guys-
funny actually, because every show would start with, "All right, I'm gonna start this motherfucker."
Yeah, pretty much.
The thing is that they would get to see how we bounce shit back and forth to get ideas for the show that we're coming up with on the spot right there, as opposed to stuff that we've written down.
I mean, to be
No.
honest, Sean, look, you're here behind the scenes, and you're here on the days where you're not behind the scenes and just watch the show. Is there really much difference between the banter?
No.
Yeah. So.
I mean, when Tony was saying that earlier, the first thing that came to my mind is he doesn't watch enough CN Arsenal, because this is the kind of stuff, the making of the New Watch podcast kind of thing. You do the nuts and bolts thing as a video to your patrons.
Yeah, Tony
I
won't do
don't
that
go
though.
for that bullshit. No,
See,
I won't be a part of Patreon only shit.
Yeah, but you could just litter it. Well, that's going to go into another topic he wants to talk about today, isn't it?
yeah, we're gonna.
But
get
I
to
mean,
that,
like, you could do the making of the New Watch podcast and like have a bunch of like still shots of fluffers before, quiet on the set, and like a silver tray with a bunch of like sandwiches and donuts and like a couple of lines of Coke.
Free for staff only.
Yeah.
Not the cleaning crew.
5-gallon bucket of lube.
Just in case. Even though I feel like it's gonna be a sausage fest, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm keeping my back in the fucking corner.
Oh shit, assholes against the drywall, folks. What's up, Scotty? What's up, Sammy? What's up, Gunmetal Guy? I think that's everybody out. What's up, Oz?
Mikey out there, I ain't seen him.
Oz said bark, but
At the moon.
them fucking things might have gotten deleted. I don't know.
I ain't on the live chat either.
I don't know how long they last for. When they put the chat in early, sometimes it stays there for me, sometimes it goes away.
There he is. I see him now.
Yeah, fucking Oz.
Mikey! Seen that holster. It looks good.
Oh, it's up there on Instagram?
I seen it on Facebook.
Damn, Tony, you thought Jimmy was late. Look who just wandered in.
Hi.
Oh, the one that strikes at night? Blah, blah.
Yeah. Well,
I gotta
apparently
cue up the
expect
Darkwing
Memorial
Duck
Days,
music.
So we're doing Red Wings today, right?
too. No.
Detroit?
No. I remember that
Sacks for
conversation.
everyone.
Absolutely not.
Coward.
Asshole.
Don't bring up Detroit. Last time I talked about Detroit, I lost 2 viewers.
The asshole thing, everybody fucking knows that already.
Well, Jimmy, that's why you shouldn't talk about Flint. Okay? Don't drink the water in Flint. Everybody knows that.
The water in Flint's making everybody retarded.
You know, it's
You
not
don't
my
need
business.
Flint water to kill a deer.
He's sitting there sewing on the belt at the moment. That means that fucking it ain't finished. So what did you see?
I seen the holster. That's what I fucking said.
The holster that I showed already on fucking the show? On your show?
I seen the finished one. I don't watch this fucking show. What's the matter with you?
You're a goddamn liar.
Of course he doesn't watch this show. He's got better things to do.
You see, this is why the topic isn't hot anymore, Jimmy.
Yeah, I know, and it's usually my fucking fault. Hey, and I broke my guitar yesterday, so you know how you fucking strum it sometimes and you hit it to fucking, the
You
acoustic
break a
guitar?
string.
No, I didn't hit the base of it, I hit the neck of it, and the neck fucking snapped in half.
Ooh, that
So-
means you're the strings too tight.
Well, that just makes it.
You
more of a
broke
reason
the
to say
neck of
goodbye.
your guitar.
Yeah, by smacking it.
With what, a sledgehammer?
My fucking hand, man. I was doing one of those hillbilly things where I was smacking it and then stomping my feet at the same time. I'm like, oh, no, and then it fucking, on like the 4th one, it snapped.
Dude, did you check it
Sean-
for like termite damage? What the hell?
Sean,
No,
it was
man, I
his
just-
other hand, the one he uses all the time.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's my man hand.
Oh, you used your Johnny Silverhand arm. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Went all bionic on it and shit and snapped it.
Yep.
Probably a cheap ass guitar, and there's a lot of fucking tension on that neck joint. So
It is a cheap.
Well,
It was a cheap guitar.
Jimmy is a cheap bastard. It's true.
Now I know what to get him for Christmas. A boat bottom mariachi bass guitar.
Hell yeah!
I always
I-
wanted one of those.
And give me a case too with a false bottom, so I can put a bunch of guns and grenades and shit in it.
You know how much weed you can stuff into a boat bottom mariachi bass?
Ooh, good couple
Ooh.
pounds.
Uh-huh.
You know, I know a company
Don't
that
have-
makes those.
Horseshoe
don't
boxes.
have to, we don't have to worry about that shit here in Illinois. We can go buy weed. Have it.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with weed too. Yeah, cool. Weed is fine out here too, but you can only have so much of it. With that guitar, you up
Horseshoe boxes worth.
you up
Well, you've got you, the old lady,
The dogs.
the dogs.
We're now on a list.
We've always been on the list. Don't lie.
Yeah.
We may have made it 2 days without going on a list for the early watch, but I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Okay, so before we went on air, we talked about something, and I want to do a cause and effect type thing.
Yes.
The other day at the NRA show, Ted Cruz was a guest speaker. He shows up, casually dressed, and somebody walks up to him, rather polite, and asks for a photo op. So he obliges.
Hang on, casually dressed like undercover boss, casually dressed, or he was like
Ted Cruz
Like-
casually dressed.
Like
Oh, okay.
polo-ish
Yeah,
kind
okay.
of dressed.
Like
he
So
wasn't hiding.
he wasn't wearing his penguin outfit.
Yeah, I got you.
So, like, everything seems cool, right?
Mhm.
And the cameras start turning on him, and this dude turns into Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar rolled into one. Screaming at him, chastising him, berating him. This is all your fault. Blood on your hands. In front of the cameras. So naturally, he has this prick removed. And then what happens right after, Jimmy? You told me. What's he after now?
What?
The vidya games.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's blaming the video games.
We all grew up with those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no, Tony's the old man now.
No, but
Tony,
he
you
knows
guys
of
played.
them.
You used to play tic-tac-toe in your fucking cave drawings and shit.
See,
That
Gunmetal
ain't
Guy
video.
says that the confrontation was staged, right? I think
Sure
the
he was.
events of the last 7 days were staged.
Wait, you think it
Well-
was?
Yeah, I think all of it was.
Well,
I mean,
here's
the police
the thing.
response was ridiculous. And I know we're going to touch that later, too. See how we're doing these little
Right now,
Yeah.
it's all
Spoilers.
feeding. It's all feeding into
these
each
little
other.
spoilers.
I've seen a lot of pushback from people who aren't even Republican, and they're walking away from the Democratic Party because they're pissed off that the leaders of the Democrat Party are pushing this so fast without even burying the children. They're pissed off about that.
I just,
So
I was hoping we know a few people who are at the NRA show in my city. And I'm really surprised none of them got caught on camera, not really teasing the protesters, but just sort of putting it out there like, do you people even realize that you are safer in this part of downtown Houston right now more than any other time in history?
well, those people would argue with you and
Oh
be like,
yeah.
you can't talk to those people because they're not sane people.
I wasn't even, I wanted to go to the NRA show for years. And when I heard that it was coming to my city, I got kind of excited. But then I think it was a year or two ago, it was supposed to be here. It got canceled because COVID, right?
Mhm.
And
I
then
gotta
all of a
ask you
sudden,
that.
4 days before it kicks off, Uvalde. It's like, what? I don't even want to go. Like
And
I'm only an hour away.
hold on, Uvalde was only how many weeks after Brooklyn or
Yeah,
Buffalo? Excuse me.
like a
Buffalo.
month.
I don't know why I want to see Brooklyn. It's probably because of B.
Which,
It's like a
Buffalo.
month.
well, New York
But I
is
mean,
pulling some bullshit now too. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, but also the Supreme Court isn't being swayed by this, and it looks like they may be making that determination in the Second Amendment favor.
You remember my questioned racist joke of the last show?
hmm.
I could actually tie Buffalo into that one too.
Go ahead.
what?
No,
he
not
might.
yet.
Well, I mean, the whole reason I didn't go to the show is multifold, but if you looked at the original speakers and performers lists, everybody backed out but the president and Ted Cruz. Everyone. And I thought, in all honesty, we didn't ask for the situation to happen. We know that there are contractual obligations for the lease of the George R. Brown Convention Center, and there were hotels booked and catering and all this stuff, right? Tons of show prep, just like when they make a gun show, essentially, right? But one has to argue that the timing is absolutely inappropriate after that, which is why everyone pulled out to save face, right? It's like, okay, look, this isn't a good time to do this. They could not do it. So they were stuck in it. That, and
Yeah.
honestly, I know that people say that we shouldn't hold it against them, but I'm still one of those fuck the NRA type people because I don't need a mailbox full of junk mail and I don't need an organization that puts on a smile on their face and then slowly negotiates away your rights. So why the fuck does anybody go there to support that shit? I know it's like another gun show and it's another like SHOT Show type thing,
It's trade
but at
show.
the end of the day, you're still supporting the group that negotiates your gun rights away, and I think that's fundamentally screwed.
Yeah, they're not pro Second Amendment. They're pro the war on Second Amendment, so they
Yeah.
can continue to keep
It's like
getting
Planned
paid.
Parenthood, right? It's like they don't plan shit but executions.
Yeah.
There was a really good hit piece years ago about a girl who called Planned Parenthoods in 48 states, the Continental 48. None of them offered what they called prenatal care. They only talked about getting rid of your kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute. Why? It's sort of the same thing. It's like, why am I going to support that group that negotiates away my rights? If it was a GOA gun show, I would be the first person in line because they get results.
What about
If
Second
Alan
Amendment?
West takes out Wayne LaPierre, I'll consider going back, but not now.
I'm done with them at the moment.
Anyway, sorry.
My NRA
thing
membership
I'm doing-
expired.
The only thing I do is wear a T-shirt because family gave me the T-shirt. So.
Oh, so
You
you're
guys
no
support
longer
them
you're
now?
no longer a paid up member anymore?
No,
Nope.
no, it expired finally.
Nice.
because well, the problem is I've got family members that know that I like guns, and they do nice shit for me, and they think I want a subscription, so they get me a subscription. Hey, I got you this. I'm like, okay, thanks, but you didn't have to. And they're like, well, I know you like guns, so here you go. And it's like, okay, I instead of arguing with them and trying to get them to do something that they'll never do, it's just just accept the gesture and move on.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, sometimes there's no sense in arguing.
It's family. It's family. They love you. They're trying to do something nice for you. Just accept the gesture and move on.
Bang. Does anybody know what was said about video games?
No,
Nah,
it's the same thing that's always said about video games.
they're
It's a
blaming the video
culture.
games now instead of the people. Heaven forbid we actually blame the goddamn motherfucker that actually did something wrong. Oh no, we can't do that. This is America.
That's
Well,
what,
it's
and
always about
yeah,
deflection.
and then I don't get it too because now they say they don't want to. They're not like blaming the person, but then a big push right now I noticed, and I got into an argument with somebody too, is the mandatory health evaluations. Is that I don't know if that's like a thing or not, but that was an argument that I got into with somebody, and that was like their main fucking. I could read
Yeah,
it to you guys if you want.
I'm not taking any mandatory health evaluations. Sorry.
Well,
Uh,
in our case, right, Jimmy and Mike and I, we all are of a similar generation. We grew up building the gun gaming industry. We made it. We created it. We also are the generation that created the internet, and we all turned out fine, more or less.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And I
the
would
word's
say that
yeah,
strong
I'm
on
that the fucked in the head that I suffer from is not from video games.
no, it's from living in Chicago.
It's from life. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, okay, so you guys know that I did psychology and sociology and criminal pathology in college. So like
No, tell us
there
again for the 10,000th time.
well, because there's a thing. You see, one could argue that these games are your blow off valve, your way to vent, your way
Outlet.
to your outlet, exactly.
Your beer after work or
Yeah,
Mm.
school.
and some people it what it does is it desensitizes them to the horrors of war or violence or whatever. And for some of us
I mean,
it's just a game. It's like when you go to the movies, I'm not scared of horror movies anymore because I know it's just a movie, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
mhm.
okay, let's see how much you can trick me into being afraid. And then like war movies, it's like it's just special effects porn, but it invokes thought. It's like, well, no, this could actually happen. And
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like you see it and it's like, okay, cross that off my mental checklist. It's like I saw it, it's done.
the reason that is all of America has been desensitized because the news has gone on and on and on about war and whatnot, and they pushed the envelope since Vietnam of how bad war and things are in the world and everything to where the point of which where nothing really faces us anymore.
you're not looking at this from the proper perspective.
I
They're
can't
not
put my head
talking
that far
about
up my own ass.
What?
you're not talking about desensitized to being in war or shooting guns and shit. Talking about desensitizing the value of human life.
Fair enough. Okay.
Since when did you become philosophical?
No, he's right. He's absolutely right. People in video games when you do play like a Call of Duty
Exactly, Son of Anarchy. I do too.
or like even a Team Fortress 2 or like a Fortnite, right? You run around knowing that no matter what mistake you make, I'll respawn.
Yeah.
And in
I'm
real
not gonna
life,
die.
there's no respawn. In real war, there's no background music,
No.
So it's like you're given a false sense of security and reality. And I guess what it is the outlier. See, the thing is everything that's anti is always against the outlier, right? The majority of us, 99.9% of us, we're all gun owners. Our guns don't hop off the wall and kill people. It's just that 1% outlier is what these pathetic people hyper focus on. And rather than blaming individual people for individual actions, they want to just carpet bomb the tool when the actual weapon is the person.
I'll tell you, they were doing an interview with one of the teachers from that school on the Today Show this morning.
Mhm.
And they're running around with the various questions about the police response and all that shit. And they said, what do you think is the underlying cause of all these mass shooting events?
Mhm.
And she said, the person that comes in does it.
Yeah.
and they cut out of the interview right there.
Of course, it doesn't toe their
It doesn't
agenda.
our narrative.
But wouldn't it be crazy though if they could find like one of these fucking shooters had a first person fucking camera on him and shit, and
Maybe
like every time he loads up or something, guy smoked him
Uh-oh.
or something.
that guy in Buffalo did.
He
Buzz,
did.
buzz, pew, pew,
Was that
motherfucker.
that was the manifesto guy, huh? The racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys read that?
Nah.
No.
No. I'm
Nah.
not
But
touching
I've heard
I don't wanna be
excerpts
on a
from
list.
it, but I don't want to fucking
I-
you know.
I read
I
it.
have-
List.
I have to argue with myself every morning we come into this show to be in here with Jimmy. I don't want to read a manifesto because that keep me coming. Probably.
Yeah,
Well,
you guys
I'll
know
give-
how long I've been trying to get Tony to read my manifesto for? God damn.
But let me give you the Cliff Notes version. It's almost 200 pages long. The
Yeah.
first page is basically a hi, my name is, and then the last page is like this is why I'm doing this, and everything in between was literally like reading 1,000 Amazon product reviews. I'm not even kidding. It was about gear, what he thinks, where he got it, what you want to do with it, what sucks, what hits, what fits, what's Chinesium. It was just one giant commercial. But if you're Chuck Schumer, it's a hit list of every single company or website to take down,
Oh yeah.
which is
These-
crazy.
These camo overalls, they gotta go.
Yeah, I got this tack sack from Etsy. What?
Yeah. No shit. It's promoting murder. These balls that people put on as foregrips are fucking murder. They'll just find anything, and it's almost ridiculous. Let me read this real quick. It's still on the same topic because it's on a
Hey,
video.
Heavy.
What's up, Heavy? It's on a video. So I'm going through. I scroll through. I like to watch anti-gun shit. I like to watch it to laugh usually, but this kind of pissed me off. Now, mind you, I'm not a Joe Rogan fan, and I'm definitely not a fucking Hassan fan. But I was watching a Hassan reacts to Joe Rogan about the Uvalde fucking shit. Anyway, my response was, everyone wants their 15 minutes. You have to wonder why in generations that were more open with people owning guns, there was less mass shootings. This was obviously off of my last rant from fucking Friday. Seen the video on Saturday. And
Found it determined to get that out.
yeah, I need to. I need to. I need to be heard. And fucking then this fucking bitch, I'm not gonna like dox anybody, but Michaela answered back and said, as if the type of guns, I'm gonna read it like Michaela probably, as if the type of guns, the culture around them, and the basic intended utility of them weren't drastically different, but sure, keep thinking it isn't actually about the guns, and that they aren't the only significant difference between the US and other nations that don't experience this shit. Then I responded, other nations have mass murders committed by vehicles, bombs, knives, poison gases, and still guns. Might want to do some research, Michaela. Knowledge is power. And then, you guys know what happens next.
Oh,
No, I shut Michaela down. Michaela's shut down. She's done. And then a white knight jumps into the equation. Davy. Name the last 3 times in the world that a poison gas or vehicle killed so many people. Also, are you arguing that poison gas should not be regulated? It says
World War One, World War Two. Just recently in what was that country in the Middle East?
I don't know. When I said
Aleppo.
poison gas, I was thinking
Aleppo.
about the Japanese guy. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, those are the last 3 times, and poison gas shouldn't even be made, let alone
Regulated. Yeah.
It's already regulated. It's called the Geneva Convention and the Hague Convention.
Didn't you
There
say
is
something about a van too? Right.
A car, yeah, vehicle.
5 years ago in London, 8 people were killed by terrorists in a rented van. They ran people over on the London Bridge.
Yeah. And then there was
Or-
those truck murders that was like a fucking few years. He had a gun too, though. But
Yeah, you remember
There's
when everybody
the-
was going on and on about AR-15 attachments back, a couple of years ago, and then the truck did that whole damage, and they went after guns after that truck too by saying it was guns and not trucks,
yeah,
and then somebody they had that USA Today post, remember that, and then somebody put a truck attachment on the gun.
yeah. It's
That
just
was
it's
hilarious.
stupid. But yeah, but
Let's not forget that theater in France too, where they did the fucking mass shooting.
yeah,
Yeah,
they still use guns.
I'm still focusing on the car thing because there's plenty of instances of that. There was the Charlottesville, the dude with that dark gray Dodge Challenger ran over a bunch of people. There's that one
Waukesha.
dude. Yeah, that
Waukesha
was
or
last year.
Waukesha,
Fucking
Jimmy's
last year.
girlfriend.
Dude fucking like beat the shit out of his girlfriend, then ran over a bunch of people with like a SUV.
Stupid. Um, but then here's my I got you moment, right? I thought I got you. And guns are still very much regulated here. Felons can't own guns, but they still get them. Maybe we should regulate theft or illegal gun sales or criminals. I should have said murder. And then he says, "Do you support mandatory mental health checks to get a gun license?" Now
Nope.
of course not. But here's where you guys may disagree with me, but hear me out. Before I read my answer, I did this in order to kind of see if I could sway the argument back onto my side. Now I said, but there's also a double meaning behind it. If the states want to do it, sure. But did this kid have any diagnosis? Would that solution have done nothing in this? Wouldn't that solution have done nothing in this situation? There's cracks in the system and people slip through. You make a law and there will be somebody to break it. It all starts at home, family, community, and state. The federal government isn't saving us, they're ruining us. And then his reply, do you support mandatory, in all caps, mental health checks for all caps, citizens who wish to own guns? And I
No.
asked, I said,
No,
did you not read the comment? And what
no,
consists of
I
a
read it.
mandatory health check for all gun owners? And
I
what
read
about illegal gun owners? As I said, this Texas kid never had any proper diagnosis. What would your check done in this situation? He
Sean,
Let
wouldn't.
this
me
one
ask you
this one's
this,
my favorite.
White. Let me ask you this, Mr. White Knight. Would you support mental evaluations for people who refuse to own a gun because guns are fun?
Tony, listen, it took everything in my being not to write. What if we did mental health checks for people that want to mutilate their bodies and become a different gender than they were born as? Should we get them mentally health checked? It took everything in me not to say that. But anyway,
I'm sure you'd been in a flame war there.
oh
It was
God, they
well
all would have
because
jumped on me.
they literally are. But
Jimmy, those are things that need not be discussed.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Sean, for reminding me.
Sean, do you see
Um,
this?
and then his response, he
This is
would
the
need to
USA
have
Today thing he was talking about.
Before.
his response was he would need to have a psychological evaluation before he was allowed to buy the gun. Same with every person. And then I said,
Why?
and this check would just hope people don't lie or can't act like they're not crazy. Like I
Or
said, if
don't
it's
go crazy after the fucking
right,
fact.
yeah, so everybody snaps. But then I said, like I said, if all caps independent, I'm playing his game now. If an independent from the Fed if a state independent from the Fed wants to do it, that's fine. Will it help? Probably not. My point is the federal government has too much power over independent states. Under the disguise of helping us, citizens need to take back control by uniting, giving power back to the states, not by begging the government to pass a law. Can't you see how none of these quote common sense gun laws will solve mass murders? None of them have yet. Why would a new one be any different? And then I fucking he on my notifications it says that he responded and it starts off with it's very difficult for people to hide mental ill, but when I click on the statement it's not there, so I think that means that either he deleted it or YouTube deleted it or the channel deleted it.
Or he just blocked you.
So that was the last one. I pawned him. I pwned him. I mean
It's lots of people can hide mental illness
I
very
Can I
fucking
share a
well.
few thoughts about that? Like
yes,
that's a good exchange you had.
yes,
Okay.
please.
How you shut down people like this to the point that they turn into the generic NPC is the first thing you point out is if you open Pandora's box about mental health screenings for gun ownership, then you can also tether the argument to mental health checks, like you said, for trannies. You can also do it for mental health checks for women during an abortion or before one. Um, you also open Pandora's box of wait a minute. First of all, the Second Amendment was expressly written and designed to be a check and balance for the very government that continuously attacks it. And you can also make the argument for poll tax. You can say, listen, we don't make you take a competency test before you get to vote. Most people who go vote don't even realize who their fucking candidates are or how many people are in their district or who's running for city council. They don't know any of this. They just go and punch the R or punch the D, and
Yeah.
that's it. They don't know a fucking thing. And it's the
Because
low
there's a lot of
information
them
voter
running
that
for
gets
D.
really crappy people elected.
Yeah,
The
my
inverse to
grandma
that
was a Democrat and fucking
Well, the
yeah.
inverse to that is you could say you should at least pass a basic competency test before you're allowed to vote. And people are like, you can't do that. You're taking away people's rights. It's like, no, you're not. We're just making sure that you're making an informed choice. We're not saying you can't vote. We're just saying you better get informed so you can pass a very basic test. And they're like, you can't do that. And then like, then why are you trying to make me take a basic test to have my constitutional right to keep and bear arms?
Well, before my
They go,
grandmother
wait,
died,
wait, they go NPC on you right there, right? And then you can
she was a
stop and go,
Democrat.
then you can stop and say, poll tax. Why do I have to pay a tax, which is what that is,
Right.
Yeah.
for a piece of paper or a card that says I am legally allowed to exercise my constitutional right by the very entity, the government, who issued it to you, that the Second Amendment was deliberately designed to rein in? They will NPC on you. They will glass over and just start screaming autistic, retarded noises at you like a fucking velociraptor with its nuts crushed.
Yeah.
Let me say this. Okay, my grandmother was a Democrat, and a few years before she died, she went to being an independent because she literally said, right before the 2016 election that that the party of Roosevelt was dead. That the
Yeah.
Democratic Party is not the party of Roosevelt anymore.
No, you're
Guy
right.
Johnson.
She's right. She's right. I
and
have to
she's
tell this
like,
to my dad all the
I don't
time.
care. I'm going independent. I'm not a fan of Trump, but I don't like Hillary Clinton.
My dad didn't vote in 2020. And the reason he didn't is because of that very argument. I kept trying to remind him that the Democratic Party that he grew up in is not the party that is currently in power now. And I tried to very carefully, because he's got dementia, explain to him the things that this party currently does that directly affects him. So at the very end of this long, like, education that I tried to give him very gently, I said, so I would respectfully request that if you're not going to take the time to learn about the issues or the candidates or the party platforms that you don't realize has changed underneath you, please don't go exercise your right to vote because your ignorant vote negates my educated one.
Yeah.
And he was like, fine. I didn't want to drive there anyway.
But you're right though, it's literally canceling each other out.
Yeah. I don't need arrogant and ignorant cows running around getting picked up on buses and taken to the polls to go punch the D when they don't even know who they're voting for or what they stand for. Don't do that. Don't ruin an educated person's selection with your low information ballot. Because that's what Democrats do. They pick you up, they feed you a line, they bus you over there and say, just push this button right here. Thanks. They don't even take you home afterwards. They just leave you there. Cattle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty makes a good point. Fucking voter register, mental health check for the First Amendment. So before you can finish signing up for your Facebook account or your Twitter or whatever the fuck, just got to do a quick little evaluation to make sure you're not insane.
See how fast that can spiral out of control, though?
Seriously.
I
But
mean, think about it like this. The Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, right? They weren't ratified until 1791. That's, what is it, 15 years after the American Revolutionary War? It took them 15 years for only 13 states to all agree unanimously to adopt the laws of the land by making these 10 amendments before the Constitution was even in place. They had to change it before they could even agree on it.
That's a lot longer than it takes these days.
Well, yeah, we can argue about the Constitutional Convention of the States, which I am now a part of, and how long it took them to get where they're at today.
And just realize once you actually get one, they'll probably take the Second Amendment and the First Amendment away.
But okay, I want to talk about Bette Midler for a second. I know
No,
that's out
please
of left
don't.
field.
Please don't.
No, she's
Please
the
don't.
wind
She,
beneath my wings.
yeah, she sits on a papasan chair in Hawaii and gets on social media and, like an autistic, retarded harpy, starts screaming into her phone, "You should go to the NRA show and protest armed." What? You want us to go to, you want them people to go to the NRA show with the very implement you're trying to get taken away from them? How does that make any fucking sense?
Well, see, they think that
You see, that's the funny thing. She gets to exercise her First Amendment rights while demonizing the very amendment that protects her right to do that.
but the thing
Define
is,
irony.
her view is that she's petrified of guns, so she thinks that those of us who are pro-gun would be too.
She's in
And
Hawaii,
we're
dude.
petrified of idiots.
No. She's in
Hawaii, where
Hawaii.
they
The worst
basically
thing
take
she has to
guns away
worry
from
about
her.
is being seduced by HVS, who does own a couple of guns, but he's just trying to get her drunk.
She's thinking of taking guns or arms to the NRA so that they'll scare us.
Well, it was like the whole Trump thing. Like everybody needs to get guns now because Trump's president. The Democrats, I mean, they're like, oh, we got to get guns because Trump's president, and the white
Just
supremacists are
imagine
gonna
how
kill
much
us
money.
all.
Imagine how much money you could have made had you stockpiled guns and ammo when Trump got elected.
Yeah, no shit.
Democratic Party is the greatest gun and ammunition salesperson in American history.
Mm. And
Fact.
also the greatest threat.
Yeah, because they fearmonger people into buying them. Fact.
The timing of this is really suspect because
They all are.
they know fucking good and well that come November they're going to lose all their power.
Well, okay, let me bring this up since you just brought that up. This is going to be good.
He opened
Every
the
time
door.
something happens in the news, the first thing you have to do as an informed viewer of the news or ingester of the news, the first question, before you even read the story, look at the headline and go, what are they trying to distract me from? Because I'll tell you, the NRA show, the protests, the Uvalde shooting, has been nothing but that on every front page of the news for a week. Why? Title 42, the border crisis. Nobody gives a fuck about monkeypox because they found out what actually causes it and transmits it, and what group of people, which I won't mention it because they'll get offended, but a certain group of people who like to, poke chocolate starfish,
Fuck.
they're the ones who are getting it. 7 people in the United States. 7.
Oh,
Nobody
so
cares about monkeypox.
one of them fucking freaks fucked a monkey.
So the thing is nobody cares about monkeypox. Everybody cares about Title 42 and the border if you're in Texas, right? And what do they do to try to deflect you from all of that? The fact that the border czar still hasn't gone down there and done a thing about it. The fact that your commander in chief has still never been to the border. On top of that, everyone's sort of numb with the Ukraine situation because they're covering that less and less. Even in my show, we're covering it slightly less and less because there's less stories I can work with.
So
And
you're
they're
part of the
deflecting.
problem.
No. I'm still trying to do it. It's just the fact of the matter is this Uvalde thing, this NRA thing, it has taken front and center because Democrats have nothing they can run on. They can't play a race angle because of that guy in New York, the shooter in New York on the subway. They can't play the race angle there. They can't focus on the mental health angle on the Buffalo guy because the people who represent mental health issues is their very party. They can't focus on the border because they don't want to do anything about the border. They can't focus on energy prices because they're the ones who caused it. So what do? They go back to their DNC playbook. Page 1, preemptively accuse the other side of what you're guilty of first. Sussman trial is about to end. Hillary Clinton has been nailed to a cross in that trial. How much have you heard about that? Not a fucking thing. So you got that, the border, you got monkeypox. Nothing else is going to bother or stop their push to go after guns because that's the only thing they can run on in November.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they got left pretty much.
How
That's the
many more?
only thing they got left.
Yep.
How many more of these tragedies you think are going to befall America between now and November?
Well, there's a golden peanut in this turd. once upon a time, 5 years ago, I wrote a bill proposal to my governor the day after Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, Florida, right? Remember that
Mhm.
shooting?
Yep.
Remember Tack Daddy and his two daughters and all that?
Yep.
I wrote a bill called the Good Shepherd Act, which literally, you know, the teachers are the shepherds of the flock, your children, right? And a shepherd carries a crook, a hook, right? And it tends to the flock. And if a wolf comes, it's their responsibility to protect the sheep from the wolves, right? So I wrote this bill about teacher carry and how there would be countless volunteers of off duty officers, active and retired military, NRA shooting instructors, you name it. People would line up for that because those people are all part of your communities. They have children in those schools. Those cops had children in Uvalde. I mean, they're all intimately intertwined.
Yeah,
And they could
vested
train.
interest. Yeah.
Yeah, and they would train the department heads because most schools are set up like a spine with rib cages, right? So you would have this main hall and a bunch of halls that branch off of it. And usually in every hall there's a department head, one teacher that sort of overlooks the whole hall for like 10 to 12 other teachers down the hall. You just get one person in each hall to carry. And if the department head doesn't want to do it, it's fine. You can get the next teacher in line if they want to do it. Or they can have more than one in that hall if you want, and it basically just sets up a drill because they had fire drills, they had disaster drills. When we were in school, they could do an active shooter drill where they just hit a buzzer, the principal flips the switch, all the electromagnetic door locks of the school lock down, all the teachers are instructed to go in their rooms, lock the door, shut the lights off, pull their pistol, and wait at the door through that little porthole window and just keep an eye on what's going on until an all clear is given. I laid out this whole fucking thing. And then people were like, what if somebody gets hurt from the teacher shooting somebody? Well, guess what? Schools are already insured because if kids get hurt playing high school sports, the parents don't have to pay that medical bill. The school pays it. They're insured. So if somebody was to just get grazed by a bullet when the teacher lights up a school shooter, they're covered. Like I laid out this whole case and I've been bringing it back year after year after year after year, and it's not gaining any traction. But back when I wrote that, there were only 213 school districts in the state of Texas, not schools, districts. That's multiple schools in one district. 213 of them already had it. At the time I wrote it 5 years ago, there were 0 school shootings in all 213 of those districts. As of today, there's 365.
Shit.
That's the
Districts.
answer. You see, it's not about the gun. It's about deterrent. And the way you deter a shooter is you take away the hen house. A wolf doesn't go to a den of wolves to eat. It goes to a hen house. And if the hen house has a sign saying teachers are armed and they will protect these students, enter at your own risk, they're not going to go in there. They're going to go look for another buffet to shoot because they're
Yeah.
like, I'm not going in there. The best part is the shooter doesn't know who's carrying, do they? They've never been in that building. Or maybe they have, but they still don't know who's carrying. It's a double blind. The shooter doesn't know who's carrying. So when they walk in and people are just walking up and down the halls of the school, they don't know who's carrying. Like he could pull out the gun and get pegged in the head in the first second they notice somebody at the door. Or maybe he'll get 5 feet down the hall and get hit by the third person he walks past. He'll never know. He or she, got to be equal opportunity here. He or she will never know what hit them. And as a double blind, before someone says, what if the student jumps over the desk and takes the gun from the teacher and kills the teacher in front of everyone else? The students don't know who's carrying either. Because if we can't get people to know who the fuck they're voting for, do you honestly think a student who's trying to get laid is going to give a shit who the department head of his hallway is?
Look,
So
one,
nobody
prob-
knows who's carrying except the person carrying.
one problem with that idea is the amount of people who are too far left to be willing to even consider carrying a gun in school.
That's fine. Like I said, if you have a department head that's a leftist and says, I'm not going to participate in this, somebody else in that hallway, the gym teacher, the retired Marine who's now a geography teacher, somebody will be like, I'll do it. The odds are in their favor that somebody will say, I'll do it. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's not even an extra calculated health risk to that person because if they're armed and they get shot, they're just as dead as if they were unarmed and got shot. So at least give them the opportunity to even the odds.
I
That's
don't
the
disagree
solution.
with you.
And it's not even don't even think about the building. Think about the minefield in front of the building. Think of the warning signs saying teachers are armed. 99% of people who are going to go in to try to do a mass casualty situation, they never walk past a sign that says that. Only the truly insane do. Everyone else is like, no, I'm trying to get maximum damage for maximum exposure. I'm not going to walk into a place where there might be other people that can shoot back. They're going to pick the easy target every time.
Well, yeah, that shooting at the church, it only happened once. There was no other church shootings that I know about. The one where they shot back and killed the guy.
You're talking about
That was in
what the
Texas
hell is it?
too, I think, ain't it?
Yeah, it was just south of San Antonio. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the guy that killed him was an NRA shooting instructor
Mhm.
with an
Yeah.
AR.
A whole
Imagine
bunch.
that.
There was a whole bunch of memes about him and all that shit. But yeah, but fucking, I
Mhm.
mean, but that's what I'm. My point is though, is that you don't hear too many more church shootings after that, but school shootings they continue. So I think I don't know. That's a good point, but I don't think I could just hear the uproar right now if that bill were to ever become public, and or if it were to ever become a bill,
I'll
or
die on that
even
hill.
if the idea would become public, people would be out. You can't put guns in schools with kids, and it's gonna be
They already
fucking.
have them. They already have them. Resource officers already have. I usually Glock 23s.
Yeah.
They
Well,
Yeah.
already got them. See, the
and
thing is somebody has to
that's
pick
my
that up
point.
and die on that hill. I was almost willing to go to the NRA show to speak to Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of the state of Texas, until
Hmm.
he backed out. I didn't know Ted Cruz was going until after I found out that he got gotcha momented. Otherwise, I still would have went. I would have went just to say, "Can I have 5 minutes of your time to talk about this bill proposal?" And that would have finally gained traction because I write them and I call them, but you never get the actual person. You get their clerk
Hmm.
or you get their mail room. And it's like I've sent the letter probably 5 times once a year and no response.
And my thing is, we've already got, as you said, resource officers in most schools, and instead of just, instead of just one, maybe two resource officers would be better.
No. No. My high school, 25 years I graduated high school 25 years ago. I hate to admit, but 25 years ago. When I graduated, my school was 2 years old. They built it and I moved to it, and I was the first graduating class from it. It was set
My
up
school was
exactly the way I'm
older.
talking about. A spine down the middle and a bunch of hallways that branch off of that spine. It's the perfect layout for the bill I'm proposing, right? There was one resource officer. We called him RoboCop. He was 62, 63 years old. He's about 300 pounds. He had gray hair and he rode around in a golf cart with a water bottle all day. Never ever got off of that cart. Okay. The building was the size of like one of those Mall of America type buildings, that big, right? It had 4,600 students when I graduated from all 4 years. 4,600 students then. They built 12 high schools every other year after I graduated. My high school now probably has 5 or 6,000 in that building. And to ask one person to protect 500 staff and 5,000 kids is a numerical impossibility.
Wow, it's
And if you give them
ridiculous.
two, it's still a numerical impossibility. But if you have 5% of all the teachers in that building carry, you've force multiplied by what? 60 teachers plus the two resource officers? 62 is still not much, but it covers every hall, and that's all you need. And you don't even need that as a first line of defense. That's the last line of defense. The one entry point thing that they're proposing, fine. I still look at it as a fire risk, but if it's an electromagnetic lock with a backup so it doesn't, get hacked and break down, fine. That's your first line
You
of
do
defense. The warning
realize,
sign is a first line of defense, not the people inside it.
What?
you do realize that most school doors, at least in this area, will lock and be able to be opened from the inside, negating the fire risk.
Most of the schools that are built here, I hate to admit, are built in the same architectural structure as a prison. So you have steel doors, triple layer steel doors with concrete fill. They have a 4-inch wide by 36-inch tall piece of wired glass, like a porthole. Every fucking door is like that. and it doesn't have a knob on the lock. It has a keyhole on both sides to a deadbolt that's usually 8 to 10 layers of steel. So unless they changed that, that's what I'm working off of, the design of the buildings in my area. Now I know there's schools that are built in the 50s and 60s and things like that are slightly different, but a lot of those schools get renovated over time. Because I went to summer school one year in a place that was built in the 1940s, and even though it still had fucking sprayed in asbestos on the roof, it had electric deadbolts. So they didn't try to modernize it. They tore it down since they got the sting and hit piece on the asbestos. But I went in there and I saw it. They modified it slightly. And it's like the only system that would work for one entry point, there has to be a master switch and it locks all the doors electromagnetically, just like, your Simply Safe thing or whatever. And
Right.
the principal should be able to flip a switch, all of them get locked. Flip a switch, turn them all off. Fire drill automatically turns them all off, or something like that. Because I can't talk about the nuts and bolts of that. If I say, oh yeah, all the locks unlock when a fire drill's happening, then all a mass shooter has to do is disable the fire alarm, and now he's got the hen house again. So you figure it out. You fucking people are the engineers. I'm just the ideas guy. But at least I'm trying to come up with ideas. I'm not attacking the tool and I'm not attacking people's rights. I'm just trying to stop a situation because the situation already happened. Colion Noir put out a great video the other day about this. And he was like, stop thinking about the gun and don't worry about what happens during the shooting because the shooting's already happening. Figure out ways to stop it from spreading. Teacher Carrie. Simple as that. Teacher Carrie.
Yeah.
Think about it like this.
Refuse.
Think about it like this. When I was in high school, you couldn't bring a cell phone to school. They would take it away from you. Today in high school, everyone's got a phone, right? 25 years ago, teachers didn't carry in school. Now they should. Just like kids should have a cell phone in case they have to call their parents, Mom, there's a school shooting or something, right? Society has accepted cell phones in schools, communications in schools. Society will be forced to accept teacher carry eventually because that is the solution. I call it the Israeli example. Schools in Israel were attacked by terrorists and Palestinian terrorists all the time. Then the teachers started carrying galils. School shootings stopped because it's not a hen house anymore. It's a den of wolves. It works there. It'll work here. Sorry.
You're making me want to go start teaching in fucking Israel because do all
You
new
would
hires
teach
get a
in
Galil?
Israel with a thigh-mounted Taurus raging bull with an 8 3/4 inch barrel.
He would. He definitely would.
But I would want a Galil issued to me as well, though. That's really the only reason I would go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jimmy, why would you want an AK in 5.56?
All Galils are in 5.56. I thought they made 7.62 ones first.
Nope, not anymore. They only do 5.56 these days.
Son of a bitch.
It's okay. By the time you get there and actually do it, it'll be in that new 6.8 caliber anyway.
Yeah.
It would. Oh yeah, Israel would have to adopt it too.
Well,
NATO.
I kind of like the idea of what we're doing
yeah.
with that because we're forcing a new issue, and because it's a NATO thing, we're basically forcing the rest of the world to accept it. And if it does, then the United States becomes the sole manufacturer of the new NATO caliber for years before we let other countries build it. So in terms of business, that was smart. Like we're making NATO dependent on American industry to supply them with the new caliber. I'm fine with that. Fuck it.
Hey, you know how to make bullets. You ever seen that movie War Dogs, Sean?
Yeah.
You ready to get to work?
Sure.
All right, I'm tired of massaging old men for money.
Ah! I mean, my footrest is like where I'm sitting. I've got a footrest like an ottoman. It's just 15 ammo boxes fully loaded. So hand loads. I just use it as a footrest.
Well, we need to get these new plastic 6.5 rounds going.
Yeah, 6.8.
6.8. Whatever.
Actually, that's the thing. The original 6.8 was smaller than the one that was accepted. It was like 6.8 by 30 something, and it was that plastic case with the steel base. They didn't adopt that. They went straight to a 6.8 by 51 brass case, 80,000 psi chamber pressured round.
6.8 by 51. Are they're still doing the 20 round magazines too?
Yeah, it's a neck down 308.
Yeah.
277 Fury is what the civilian version is, which is funny because there's this saying that what is old is new again. And for years, Ian from Forgotten Weapons was praising, 32 French long. Well, 32 French long came back this year as 30 super carry. And then once upon a time during the American weapons trials, when we went from 308 or 30-06 to 308,
hmm
actually no, even by the advent of 30-06, 276 Pedersen was in that competition. What's
Oh, I
this new
remember
caliber?
Patterson.
277 Fury. What is old is new again?
I miss.
We're back.
I
I
want to.
guess that means
I don't know.
I guess that means there's hope for running boards and tail fins again someday, and
As you were
girls in
just
Maybe,
poodle
maybe.
skirts.
as you were just explaining that fucking round, I was. Oh my god, that's got to be a monster. How fast
It's
is that
gonna be a
supposed to go?
barrel burner, 3,000 feet per second.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a barrel burner, 80,000 psi. Like originally, it was we need a heavier hitting caliber. We'll sacrifice a little bit of carry weight, and it'll
And
be a great
capacity.
equalizer. Right. And I think truly that one of the other things that the sort of pushed for and adopted, I call it the Kalashnikov example because I bought a couple of AKs this year and I bought
hmm
an RPD this year. And the reason that the RPD was invented or RPK, sorry, was invented by Kalashnikov was because it was to replace the RPD, which was belt fed. He wanted a rifle, a squad automatic weapon that in a pinch, that rifleman could call out to any infantryman, and that guy can throw a magazine from their AK and he can stick it in his RPK and stay in the fight. And if you look at the way that the new M250 and this new 6.8 caliber works, it's kind of the same principle. It was like, well, I need more ammo.
Yeah.
So like common caliber. I'm not sure if the 250 is going to be able to accept magazines though, but at least it's the same caliber.
Seems to me that what they're trying to do is make a new round for the
Yeah.
military that does what the 30-06 did.
Um, yes and no. 30-06 doesn't shoot as flat as 277. It's sort of like how the Swiss went with 7.5 and how Mauser originally went with a 7 millimeter before he went to 8. You want it to
How
go, you want the point blank range to be good so the panicked infantryman can just point and shoot and not have to worry about elevation and bullet drop. Whereas, and it makes a lighter loadout because you ask anybody who ever carried a BAR in World War II with 30-06 and a 20 round magazine. They hated it. They absolutely hated it. First of all, the rifle was a fish out of water in World War II. It had no real purpose, but it was all they had
kill people?
because, well, I know, but I mean, it was all they had at the time for a squad automatic weapon, except, Thompson's. But it gave them a rifle caliber squad automatic weapon. But the gun alone, fully loaded, was like what, 26 pounds? Could you imagine humping that weight all day? Not comfortable.
Probably not. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about how fast that motherfucker. I want to shoot one of those, and especially with how fast they're fucking going,
You
I could
can.
see it's like a laser beam.
You can. The civilian rifle is called the Sig Spear.
Yeah, I know. We
Be
looked that
prepared
up.
to shell out 8 grand.
We looked that up already. I was gonna say it was like fucking $8,500.
What kind of what kind of velocities is it getting?
3,000 feet per second.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, my 30-06 can do that with 150 grain fucking bullets.
Well, this is doing it with a 180 grain bullet.
that's more hydrostatic shock.
It's just bigger truck to go through the wall.
Yeah, that's true. Uh,
But everything that they originally wanted, they didn't get. Like we wanted the loadout to be lighter. Now the soldiers' loadout's going to be heavier. We wanted same capacity. It's only 20 rounds, but they're working on a 25. And then their thinking was, don't worry about it. Yeah, they'll have a 20. Sure, they have 5 less rounds, but they have 25 harder hitting rounds, so they don't have to shoot as much. A soldier getting shot at's not thinking about, I don't have to shoot as much. It's, I need to lay down suppressive fire to keep that idiot's head down. They want more ammo. They're not thinking about bullet weight when they're getting shot at.
You know, thing is with a lot of this argument against the 30-06, and I'm not trying to say that 30-06 is appropriate for the military today, but people who make the argument are arguing based on the 30-06 that was being fed into the Garands back in World War II.
Yeah.
The velocity and performance perspective of 30-06 have increased dramatically in the past year, thanks to slower burning powders that it can utilize.
Yeah, and you have to get adjustable gas blocks to make your Garand run proper without beating itself to death. You're right.
I'm leaving the Garand out of it. I'm talking about just in 30-06 rifle, anything. Back when I first got into it, you wouldn't have considered pushing a 150 grain bullet at 3,000 feet per second. And now there are loads that do it at near 31.
My biggest concern, honestly, is actually the maintenance of this new rifle, just because of throat erosion. 80,000 psi.
Well, they got to be changing barrels every few thousand, like what, 5,000-10,000 rounds, or faster than that.
I suspect your M250 operator, if he's sort of like a garrison guy, defending a fixed fortification with one, he's probably got a bag of barrels sitting next to him, just like MG42, just like the Germans did with MG42s.
Yeah.
There was a man, there was the gunner, and there was a guy who carried the ammo and the barrels.
I
And he was like
wonder
the
if
support
they've
guy.
got options to line the barrel like they did with other guns with chrome lining.
Well, it's gonna be. Remember we looked up that spear. Well, you don't remember shit. But we looked up that spear, and they got a moly chrome lined barrel. And
Yeah, but
that's
where's
still
going to happen no
eat
matter what?
itself out. Yeah, that's still gonna eat itself out with the velocities that motherfucker's hitting.
Yeah, heat and gas cutting become the issue. I mean, think about it. We have guns that are made out of steel, right? The barrels are made out of steel. Good quality rifled steel. Lead bullets, which is a softer metal, still wears out rifling over time. So it doesn't matter what you put on that barrel or how you treat it, it's still going to wear eventually.
Scotty says Sig claims that they have a 12,000 round barrel life, which is bullshit.
The lead is not wearing out rifle.
The jacketing does even faster. Yes.
Well, yeah, everything's going to have jackets.
It's the carbon in the powder burn that's beside it. And
well, yeah, it's being scoured by whatever's being pushed down the barrel. But I mean, the point's the same though. A softer material is still running down the barrel, and it eventually does take the edges off the harder material. It's just
the lead
basically
becomes a sanding block.
Yeah. So it's going to wear out no matter what. It's putting a chamber pressure. Originally, it was 90,000. And then, like, they backed off and said, "Oh no, it's not 90, it's 80," under their breath, right? And people are like, "And what does 5.56 have? Was it like 45,000 to 60,000 tops?"
Yeah, something like that.
Probably somewhere around 63.
I know what my Casul's pressure is.
5.56 psi.
Yeah.
Are we just talking like at 193?
Sure.
I'm looking it up right now.
Jimmy, you stand in front of a dryer?
No, it's the dogs. They're fighting each other again.
Yeah, claws.
They making new puppies?
No, not yet. Couple months.
It's saying like 62,000 psi.
Yeah.
No shit.
So it's still below a 454 Casul. They're like, no, there's room for improvement. Turn it up to 80. Okay.
They were trying to turn it up to 80 with that fucking plastic steel-based bullets.
That'd have been fine.
I'm like, I ain't putting one of them in a gun I own.
Yeah, but you know, this argument was done probably 35 years ago when the first Glock came here, and people were like, I ain't,
Plastic gun?
Yeah, they're like, nah, ain't feeling that.
Important parts of it ain't plastic.
Listen, I was nervous when I went into a 10 millimeter Glock. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna shoot a real caliber out of a fucking Glock. I don't know if it
Wait.
can.
Tony just said it. The important parts aren't plastic. That plastic casing, same thing. The important parts aren't plastic. The base, where all the pressure is being driven into, metal,
Yeah.
and the plastic form it obturates against the chamber, so the chamber itself becomes the round.
Oh yeah,
That's fine too.
Oh,
And the business end of that thing that's going down the barrel, that's metal also.
yeah, for sure. Hey, nice Ray. I wanted to ask you a question. That you just reminded me of a whole fucking thing. With that thing that you 3D printed, right?
Right.
With the rails that you got to put on it for the slide, how are you gonna work that? How does that work?
Well, with I don't know if you know if you've ever built a Palmer 80 before, but Palmer 80, the rails all slide. The rails you
They
pin
drop
it,
in.
they drop
Oh,
in,
so you're talking so
and
the lugs.
you pin it to the frame, and all the force is on the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they sell. Wait a second.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Polymer
make me
80, like Glock parts kits and
Yeah,
whatnot.
the 80% the Democrats are trying to ban right now.
wait.
That
So
whole metal piece just drops in and a couple of pins go through to hold it into the plastic frame.
Actually,
does the regular Glock lower do that?
depending on the type of Glock, and depending on whether you're using the Polymer 80 rails or if you're using the standard Glock rails,
Mm.
Polymer 80 rails are two rails you drop in and pin into the frame. If it's a normal Glock, then it's 3 rails you pin into the frame.
Yeah, it's not molded around the steel, Jimmy.
That's what I thought it was.
you
It's
know those
like think about
plastic.
my Steyr, the modular frame Steyr or the modular frame Sig pistol. You pull
Yeah.
a couple of pins and that whole piece comes out. Same thing with plastic Fantastics. You pull a couple of pins and
Oh,
all the
well,
metal
would
bits
you
come out.
look at that? No, the front one is not pinned in. So I have a rail in the front, and then the rail where the actual lug is at, that is a drop-in piece, it looks like.
You're
But
gonna make me take apart my 43.
I'm
Oh,
fucking looking at it right now, man.
no, don't make me get a picture, Jimmy, just to show you. Okay.
No, I believe you, but I'm just saying, is
Right,
it the
here.
same as it is in a fucking regular Glock? Like, can I take the rails out of my Glock or no?
Oh, you're talking about that front piece in front of the. Okay, if you look
Jimmy,
at the inside edges, they
It is.
snap into little pegs.
I'm
Okay, I see. It is a drop-in.
Yeah.
I'm screen sharing right now.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
that right there. That's the rails.
Let me look.
Those are
Hang
right
on.
there. Those pieces.
Don't run away yet. I think I know what I'm. I think I understand the error in my
Okay.
question.
And this is for a normal Glock 19
Yeah.
or for a 3D printed Glock 19.
Oh.
These are the rails.
See
Okay.
that's that front piece, Sean.
That small block, that's the front piece that goes in
Yeah.
before the locking the takedown lever spring.
So there is a difference, but it's
Yeah.
very
Okay. Now,
negligible.
hold on. Let me see if I can find the right
Right. Snap into two little like.
piece. Here. I'm gonna show you the Palmer 80 piece. So give me a second, okay?
I'm looking. Yeah, you got my full attention right now because we're gonna hop on this magic school bus from the fucking UN all the way down to New York.
Man. Scott says that's
You
very
know,
Gen 3 blocks, by the way.
Okay.
It's specifically
You know-
Gen 3. Oh, okay.
Now, do
Mine
you
is
see
Gen
this now?
4.
oh, jeez.
Go ahead. What?
Do you see it?
Hell, never mind now.
Okay. Yeah. This is the Polymer 80 block. They've basically, you don't need 3 pieces. You just need 2 pieces because they've made the first and second piece one
Together.
giant piece.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You see that? That's how they did it. And basically, they're held into the frame by just pins.
What about this back rail though, right here, where the whole fucking damn it, where the whole
That's the part he's moving his
That's the
mouse
front
around right
part
now.
Right here.
oh,
the front
okay.
2 pieces are together right here. So that's the difference. And the thing is, if you here's the thing. Most 3D printed frames, if you 3D print a frame,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter whether you use the original Glock parts or the P80 parts because they're designed to accept both.
Oh, okay.
So you can use either, which are primarily they tell you get whichever's on sale.
Whatever's on Etsy.
Makes sense.
Whatever's on sale, so you
This
Don't have
motherfucker
to spend as
gets
much.
dusty. I gotta fucking clean my shit out.
Don't ever get what's on Etsy.
So
No.
does that make any sense?
You answered my question. Thank you very much. Nice try. Greatly appreciated.
Yeah, Ozzy was saying the same thing. Like, Sigs is a drop-in fire control group. It's all one piece. My Steyer's the same way.
Yeah.
The Glock is originally 3 pieces, but P80 decided to take the first and second piece and make it one piece.
That's how my is. Are the 320s like the 250s?
Yeah, the 320s and the 250s are exactly the same. The only difference between the 320s and the 250s
Is that hammer?
Is the
Yeah.
hammer. The hammer is the only difference.
And
Heavy's angry at you for using the background, and then when you share a screen, it's on the small screen, so you have to like drag it open so everyone can see.
yeah, well, I did.
Well, if you're watching from your phone,
You better fucking cast it to a television or something.
yeah.
That's
But-
how I watch everything. Cast it.
Jimmy,
Now-
if you got a hammer and you've got a set of gunsmithing punches,
Yeah.
it's super easy to assemble. A receiver frame.
Oh yeah, for
You're-
sure.
We're now on a list, by the way. I'm just
We are,
saying.
but
That's
we're not
fine.
telling them how to do it. We're just talking about.
I'll tell you how to do it.
How-
I'll make a video for you.
Yeah, the problem is YouTube will take that video down.
Maybe.
Bomb, no problem.
Depending on how what you talk about, they'll even take the video down too. Because look what they did to Print Shoot Repeat the other day.
What happened? Briefly.
Well, he released a video of him shooting the MP5 he built, and
Oh, the
they-
3D printed one. Yep.
the 3D printer one, and they took that shit down, even though it was just him talking about and shooting it. That's it. They're going too far, man. I'm telling you.
Your video's still up, ain't it? That short you made.
Oh yeah, my shorts are up because my
Good.
shorts are just me doing it, me starting. I'm not showing you how to do it. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just saying, hey,
You
look.
have
at
to
this
have
cool
the equipment for the video to really mean anything to you instruction-wise.
thing.
And
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yes.
it's not instructional.
Please keep your shorts up.
You mean-
I think
I'm
the
keeping my
reason why
shorts
this will get stay up is because I explain the process, but then when I do the process, I
You don't
just do a
show
slideshow of a couple of pictures as after I've already done certain processes. I don't actually show it as I'm doing it.
Yeah, and that may be what gets you by.
Yeah.
Because YouTube has been less.
I don't like the way I have to do it, but it works. It's like, here's the gun, and I explain what it is and what I'm about to do with it. And then I fade off, come back in, and it's disassembled. And I'm like, okay, this is it all taken apart. And then I explain what I'm about to do. And I'm like, all right, let's watch the time lapse slideshow. And then I'll just throw background music and show like a picture. This is after I did this. This is after I did this. This is after I did this. And then it goes back into, and here's the gun put back together. Like, I don't show you how I took it apart or put it together,
You get it.
but I explain it. Like their rules are real specific about that. If you explain it, don't show it. If you show it, it's
Don't explain
and don't explain it, gray area.
Oh.
If you slideshow it and explain it, perfectly fine.
Explain
Which
to
reminds
me.
me, I have to
Now,
boil a savage today.
are we closing up now?
No. Explain to me how banning body armor is going to do anything.
Yes.
It's not.
So for those of you, well, actually, you need to explain it first.
They're
Set the
banning
table.
body armor in New York. There's a bill on the table right now in New York that is proposing to ban body armor. The
No, it's not just
sale
in New
and
York.
possession. No grandfathering in. None of that fucking good business that comes with banning shit.
They're trying
here's
to
the
run it through
situation.
Senate, too, in the House.
New York still believes that to keep the people of New York safe, they have to pull the teeth of sheep to protect the sheep from the wolves. So they took the gun away, right? And it's not working.
Bullshit.
Right, it's not working because what they fail to admit is they can pass 1 million new laws, but a criminal will just break 1 million new more, right? So all they're doing is they're just making it harder and harder and harder for the everyday Joe to either defend themselves or to acquire the tools to defend themselves. And they've attacked the sword so long that they know that they can't win. So what are they coming after now? The shield. Now you can't have body armor? Are you fucking kidding me? It's like, wait, I can't have a gun in the state of New York, so I need to wear body armor in case some other asshole has a gun and wants to shoot me, because he's got ill intentions on his mind. And now you're going to take away my body armor too? What? How does that math check out? Like, if you're going to do that, right? If you're going to take away guns from the city of New York, take away guns from the entire city of New York. Don't let the cops carry. If you don't want people to have body armor, don't let the cops have body armor. Because you can't pick and choose who gets what. That's not liberty. That's not freedom or anything. That's oppression.
What the hell makes you think it's got anything to do with freedom?
It doesn't.
Well, then you hold those accountable who keep taking your freedoms away. Which means you have to be an informed voter, and then you also have to get off your ass and go vote for the person who's doing this to you. New York, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
The sole thing behind this is it just makes it easier for them to control because they shoot you, you're dead.
That's
Or
the
at
problem
least
with gun
part
control,
right.
isn't it? That's the problem with gun control. People who want it only think of the first word. People who know better realize that it's actually about the second word.
Shit.
That's all it is.
That's all
Well,
it's
the
been about is
big
control.
problem with gun control is they people don't stop and consider the fact that they don't give a fuck if you live or die at the end of the day. Don't matter to them. They don't give a shit if you're shot by a gun unless they can use the news. They want to control. Hard to control somebody who can fight back. Harder.
What happened over here? 6 guns stolen from my duplex apartment. I was seeing an older woman whose son knew where my hide key was. His friend broke in with the key and took 6 handguns, including a Glock 43 and a Glock 17, a Ruger, a revolver.
And a
Damn.
Beretta 96 Brigadier.
All my ARs are gone, my shotguns. Only thing I got left is a pellet gun. So don't come over here, ATF. Uh, the 96 Brig, yeah, Smith and Wesson 638. Oh shit.
See, this is just another reason why you shouldn't play someone else's saved game.
Out of the fucking. Oh my. Wait. Yeah. Okay. So I thought he was being cute at first, but this is
No,
real.
his girl has a son. The son
Holy
knew where his key
shit.
was. His son's friend stole the key and then took the guns and disappeared. You're still with the woman, right, Drake?
Whoa. Fuck me. I would be on a fucking. I'd be like, call your kid right now. I'd have the bitch tied up on a chair. Fucking. Call your fucking son. Set up the meeting, bitch.
You're tiptoeing dangerously into Gerard Butler's law-abiding citizen territory.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm setting up fucking necktie traps, the whole nine. Fucking, yeah, I'm killing them and I'm not even in the room. Oh my god, I'm sorry that happened to you, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'm sure you've done your due diligence. You've probably already put in your police report and everything.
No rifles were taken. Oh yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, that's when I thought you were joking. I didn't
So
know
the dude
that's.
stole 6 guns and then put the key back.
Holy shit. So you
So
wouldn't
this
go
was
and check
intended.
like all
This
the.
was intentional.
Yeah,
So
be
how does the
suspicious.
the mom's or how does the woman's son feel about all this? Like, I'm sure you've already had words. Like, how was his reaction to all this? I mean, what did he do? Did he
Would he come?
tell
Did
this
he even
dude?
come back?
Like, did he tell this dude, "Hey, yeah, my mom's dating this dude with some really cool guns. Want to see?" Like, is it that
Unless,
situation?
maybe the kid had a fucking buyer. Maybe he knew somebody that would buy fucking guns at.
I don't know.
That's crazy. That's shitty to
That's
think about too, like having
that's
my
six
gun.
felonies.
Yeah, oh yeah. Easy. Oh yeah. But that's
That's
shitty to think about
6 felonies.
having my guns out there on the street and I don't know what's going on. Like, you know what I mean? That sucks.
I'd love to be the arresting officer for that guy. Be like, "Hey, did you enjoy your little rundown gun ownership lane? Because that was the last 6 you'll ever own
Ever.
legally."
Yeah. And then
He's
what's
a
the mo
screaming demon.
6 guns? So let's go through what they were. Let's go through the street value. G43. What do you think he
I
got
got the
on the
fuck
street
out of there with my things.
between two
Okay, so This dude
What?
left. I guess he left her after that. He took all his belongings and said, "Fuck y'all, I'm out." But yeah, you got to get that shit arrested for sure.
Oh, I would have had her fucking kidnapped until fucking
Well, it's not
something
her
happened.
fault. It's her kid's fault.
Well, I don't care. Get your kid here. Get the cops here. Get somebody here. You're kidnapped, bitch.
Nothing else was taken. Nothing else had to be taken. I mean,
Nah, that was worse. Yeah.
that's like the ultimate trust broken immediately because it was one of the most dangerous things that they could have taken from you.
So a Glock 43. The first two
20 years
comments. The first two comments that he
old.
left right there, the G43, the G17 Ruger revolver, that's
That's a
fifteen hundred
G right
dollars.
there.
Yeah, at least a
Yeah.
grand, $1,500 street value. Fucking Beretta 96. Fucking, that. What do those go for? Oh, it's a Brigadier too, so that's probably on the higher end.
The G.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So that the Smith and Wesson 638, you're probably revolvers, probably another 500 to a grand, something like that. Fuck, man.
You need to get that dude arrested for real.
Yeah.
First of all, legally he's 20 years old, so he's underage to even own them. Second of all, he committed 6 felonies by stealing them.
Well, that's Drake's value. Now you think about this kid committed these 6 felonies for what did he make on the street off of this? Maybe a
If
few
they're
grand,
sold,
maybe
did he
three
sell
grand.
them?
I would imagine. I would imagine. Why else would you take them for the house?
Because you're going to use them.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, but
Saturday Night Special style.
I guess, but I don't know. I would imagine that the most plausible situation, fucking Arkham's Razor, would be that he had a buyer, so he knew somebody that would buy guns. So he
Man.
fucking saw an opportunity and ganked them. I don't want to speculate. I mean, it's a shitty situation, man. I would be pissed. Rock Island 1911 customized by me in the case, 750 value. Yeah, fuck. Damn.
So is this dude like a ghost now? Were you able to locate him? Was she able to locate him? Was her son able to locate him, or did this dude chuck deuce and now he's just
Oh,
vanished?
has to be. And if he left her, I would imagine that most people ain't gonna tell on their kids. Like, my mom would call the cops on me in a heartbeat, but most people
In the
don't do
next
that.
town over.
Most people will fucking like help their kid get the fuck out. That's crazy. Sammy said none of these horseshit gun laws will change jack shit, especially if there's shit like this going on. Brigadier for about 7, yeah, so it's like the middle higher range.
That R1 was a Remington, not a Rock Island.
Yeah.
Oh, he said R1. Oh, I don't know. I see R and then an I looking thing next to it. I just finish it.
Well, either way, I'm sure you've probably already done your legal due diligence, and they've already got BO or bolos on confiscated weapons with certain serial numbers, I guess.
You read that? He's there. She's a shill.
Ah, that's a good segue into the other thing you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, speaking of which, yeah, 'cause I don't want to speculate too much on this situation because it's a shitty situation to be in, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm making fun of you because I
No,
sympathize with that. That
that's
sucks.
unfortunate. You've
Um,
done your due diligence. You locked your stuff up, and someone betrayed your trust.
yeah. So hopefully you get that resolved. But yeah, we were gonna go into we were talking Friday. Anybody that was listening or remembers,
We were
um,
talking about Jimmy's new nickname on the server.
Yeah.
Michelle, Michelle Obama,
You know that Cyrillic is legit for that name, right?
is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I made sure. Like I made sure that it actually translated. I didn't do that just to make it look cute. That is actual words.
No, you did try to make it look cute.
Well, that's
No,
probably,
it's the actual words.
now we can get
Russian B looks like a 6.
we can get it copyrighted in fucking 2 different languages and
I get you a lanyard.
sue people anytime they
People
want to
be
use
screaming collusion.
it.
Illusion.
So we were gonna talk about 2A YouTubers that don't give a fuck about 2A, but we need to put more research into that. So
Well, if
instead,
we're gonna call him by name, that is. But we'll talk about the behavior.
instead we're gonna talk about
Oh,
the behavior and definition of these. Yeah, shut up.
my intent of this idea was throw these fuckers under the bus.
No,
But
because that's
you also agree that we need to fucking know what we're talking about before we
Well,
start
yeah, I
talking.
want to be sure we're throwing the right fuckers under the bus.
Thank you.
Well, story time, little history lesson. There was a website that many of us used to frequent a long time ago, and the beginning of the end of that website was this very discussion and accusation.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing is that I was lucky enough to disappear and miss all the drama, but still ended up on one side or the other of the drama. So
Oh, you're a
fucking
victim of this too. You're
yeah, I know.
still not on the weekly playlist of things that are going on.
Oh no shit. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no shit. That's cool. I don't care. That's not why I did any of this shit.
I
But
know.
yeah. Oh man,
Go ahead.
that whole I forgot what my point was. Oh yeah. When we left or the early watch left, and I thought we missed everything, but apparently, like you said, yeah, we didn't.
We ain't
Um,
nothing, trust me.
we didn't. But yeah, so fucking um, e-begging is a thing that comes out a lot. So what is e-begging? Because I wouldn't necessarily count e-beggar as like a fundraiser type of situation. It would depend, I guess. But what's that definition? Help me.
Support me so I don't have to have a job.
Yeah.
Wait, in real life or is that what?
Yes,
No, I'm just joking.
I can
Yeah.
become a professional YouTuber mooch.
And that leads me into the sellout part of it, is where if you're fucking 2A, well, then by sellout, you guys could explain your definition if you want to or whatever the fuck, but mine would be somebody that support causes that they don't really give a fuck about or support causes that strictly can get them money or that type of shit. I'll only talk about this because I know that it'll get me fucking views and I don't know.
So, in a nutshell, well, fellas, this particular bit of gun control ain't that bad, like banning bump stocks.
No,
Yeah,
that
fuck
is
that.
just betrayal.
Fuck that. Fuck that up anybody's ass who's for that shit.
That's Benedict Arnolding. No.
I think that ban bump stocks. I thought bump stocks were dumb as hell, to be honest with you, but it's still a horrendous violation of our rights.
Not a gun either.
No, it's not.
Sh- Um,
But is that necessarily a shill though? I mean, a shill is somebody that
No, that's a fucking sellout.
are they a knowing decoy? Okay, but what
That's a
about the shill
sellout.
though? Is shill getting tossed around in the right way?
no.
Some cases, and more often than not, no.
I'll give you a good example of this. When I started my channel, 5 or 6 years ago, I think now,
Mm-hmm.
my only intention when I did it not only was to share what I knew or what I was learning with people who are trying to catch up to even what I know, but it was only to get a T&E deal with my local shop. I didn't want to own what they were going to lend me, right? I just wanted to be able to make videos of
You
me
want to
shooting the
borrow.
guns that I couldn't afford.
Right, yeah.
So it was like they would lend it to me for a week. I would film it, do a takedown video, cleaning video, a range video, impressions video, and then at the very end, I would plug the shop saying, "This is where I got it from." Right? I didn't say go buy this gun. Or go buy this gun, but you don't have to buy it from them. It's just this is where I got it from. Give it credit where it's due. Where a shill would come into play would be more like I would also love to have had an ammo sponsorship. So, for instance, let's say I get a call from Fiocchi and they were like, "We like your channel. We would like to supply you with ammo for your milsurps, for your this old Gats.
So,
Uh,
no,
are you interested?"
a show would be more like,
Wait,
well,
just
this is the gun
hear
we're
me
shooting
out.
today,
Hear me
and
out.
we got
If they
this
give me
ammo
the
provided by
ammo,
this company.
no, that's the thing. You can do that too. What a shill would do is they would take the ammo and then they would only push that ammo and then start talking about why you shouldn't buy anyone else's.
Jimmy,
That's what a shill is.
What?
let me
Because
give you a simple definition that you will understand quickly.
What?
If you start pushing a Gila rimfire ammo, you're a fucking shill.
yeah, exactly. If you take one thing and then you start trying to steer everyone else away from everything but that one thing, you're a shill. Like you're in their pocket. But if you
Uh,
T&E a shop and you're just saying this is where I got it from, but the shop is still giving you Remingtons and Winchesters and Enfields and Steyr, like all the other brands, then technically you're not shilling for a gun manufacturer, are you? You're
Yeah.
just saying this is the shop that I got it from, but the greatest common factor of all these guns that I got was that shop. You're not saying you have to go buy it from that shop
Yeah,
though.
fuck this gun. If this gun sucks, this gun sucks. But I got this over here, and you can get many more great guns over here. That's not
Right.
necessarily being a shill for that gun shop because I mean, you're promoting the person that's helping you out. They were nice enough to help you out. You're fucking being like, hey, this is where the fuck I got it
Um,
from.
If
Like
you're
Shill,
Travis,
hawking something that you
uh,
Shill,
believe in,
I just like their products and their company.
No, I mean think
I don't
of a
think it's big.
Glocktard gone commercial, right?
yeah,
There
oh
are
yeah,
people
that's
who buy
different.
Glocks and they will tell you not to buy anything but them. If they were sponsored by Glock and that's all they talked about, chill.
That's different. Yeah.
if you firmly believe in something that you're pushing, fine, that's legit.
But
You
you
know,
wouldn't try to tell people that other things are bad because it's just not what you have.
No,
See what I'm saying?
there's other alternatives. I'm just saying if they wanted to save a buck, go this way. But
Yeah, yeah, for sure. He said this.
I think that's kind of where we're at. Now, I guess the inverse of that, the other thing that you probably wanted to talk about was activist shills. That's the big one. Gear, ammo, hardware, that you can kind of see through. Activist shills are the ones that are the real plague
And
because
so
they're
now let me get it straight before you continue. I'm sorry, but let me get it straight. So an
mm,
activist shill is somebody that would then same definition of shill, but replace the business or corporation or whatever with activism.
yeah, they'll harp on fear mongering or
Right. Okay.
they'll say send me all your money so I can go fight this case, and then they turn around and they have a new Corvette.
uh, like losing the bump stock thing in hopes of getting nationwide uh, carry reciprocity. That's fucking.
Jimmy, good question in the chat.
Oh God, we're gonna get to. Let's get to that now. Fuck. I mean, have you? The question is from Mysore Bicep. Have you discussed Biden speaking today about 9 millimeter bullets that blow out lungs? No, not
I
yet.
try not to discuss what that stupid fucker says.
no,
There's only
because
one bullet I can think about that could probably pull that off, and that would probably be a Liberty Civil Defense round, just because it's so light and it's zinc
They,
that it actually does explode on contact.
yeah, well, yeah, and they're screaming fucking fast too.
Yeah, that or those RIP rounds, I guess. It's kind of gimmicky, but what it physically does upon entry, it can't be denied.
Thing of it is a fucking Full Metal Jacket shot somebody from the side, puncture both lungs.
You know, I made a joke once, and Night Strike actually found it. But I used to joke about James Bond's PPK and how he
yeah,
could shoot down a helicopter and shit with them. And I was like, man, he must have like 380 Ralphus rounds or something. And wouldn't you know it, Night Strike found them for me.
yes, I did. It's
So
like
maybe there's 9 millimeter Ralphus out there somewhere.
Sean was like, they don't make Ralphus rounds, and I'm like, well, actually, I'll go check.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, they do, Sean. Here they are. If
Oh,
you
I
need
could
them,
get
you can
some.
buy them right here.
When we were in Arizona, some of the fucking at the gun show, they had like this old fucking Wild West guy, like that's how he was dressed, and he was making his own fucking shit, and he had Rufus rounds. I almost bought some for the 45, but I was like, nah, I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Back to the initial comment,
Go ahead.
you really can't hang a hell of a lot on what people who don't know fuck about guns says because they're saying shit that they don't know shit about.
Then why did we put them in charge in Washington?
Why is that even a
Weren't my
fucking
choice.
why is that a
What my choice?
possibility?
Well, the answer was because of low information voters. I was bringing it all back around.
Well, we
Yeah, but
went full
make
circle.
no
Have a good day,
mistake.
everybody.
Make no mistake. Trump don't know shit about guns either.
Nope.
But I got my
Alan,
38.
Alan West is trying to take over Wayne LaPierre's job. Lieutenant Colonel Alan B. West. If you've ever heard him speak, he's not an idiot. If he does take over the NRA, the first thing I would suggest you to do, Mr. West, is stop shilling and go back to what the NRA was founded upon: weapons, education, and youth training. gain
Don't
some
buy
credibility back.
You gotta look
Otherwise, I'm gonna keep banging this drum as long as I live. I wish that the building that has the three letters NRA would be shut down, and they take down those three little letters, and the following day a sign goes up with the letters GOA, because those are the actual people that are getting shit done.
I got the
The
quote.
NRA's got to put the fucking control back in the hands of the board.
I can't find a video. I'm looking everywhere,
Hmm.
but I got the quote. Uh, I think things have gotten so bad that everybody's getting more rational about it. At least that's my hope and prayer. It's
Yeah,
loading.
no.
A 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body. There's simply no rational basis for it in terms of self-protection. Hunting, and that's it. That's where it stops.
You do a great Obama impression, but you really got to work on your tired grandpa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
I
I
mean,
do. I was rushing it. That's what the problem is. I was rushing it, guys. I was rushing it. But yeah,
I can't stoop to that fucking level, even though I am a tired old grandpa.
fucking yeah, 9mm blows the lung out of the body. There's simply no rational basis for it in terms of self-protection, comma hunting. Period.
Man, what do you think would happen if we threw Biden back in time and he was saying that shit standing next to Elmer Keith?
Oh my God. He would get kicked out of the party for sure. He'd be like, "Get out of here, leave."
Maybe that actually happened. Maybe that did happen, and a very young Sam Elliott watched the whole thing go down when Elmer Keith looked over and go, "You're a real special kind of stupid, ain't you?" Man, 9mm blows out lungs, huh?
Yeah, blows the lungs out of the body, and there's no need for it. That's the one that I thought you guys were gonna get fucking stuck on was the there's no need for it
So what does he
in
propose?
self-defense or hunting. I'm assuming he meant maybe.
9mm overkill for hunting now? Oh
Yeah,
my god!
yeah. We make fun of how gay it is, and he's talking about it's the worst. It's oh my god,
Damn, Illinois won't let you hunt with 9mm because it's too fucking
it's too
weak.
weak. Yeah.
Tell that, yeah, if 9mm is too strong to be hunting, tell that to the hog I shot in the head with a 44 Magnum and it still got away.
Oh. After that, the crowd threw tomatoes and fucking rotten lettuce at him. And he left fucking shamed. Yeah.
Wish.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, do that. My sore bicep, throw me a fucking, my fucking, my quads are sore.
He's got a
Yesterday,
video? Oh yeah, do it.
yeah, I need the video. Yesterday was leg day for me.
How's your sciatica, you old prick?
I'm healed up from that. That was fucking 4.5 days of torture. But I'm fine. I'm good now. Then I learned a sciatica stretch, so I implemented that into my morning routine.
Can you switch hands while stretching your sciatica?
Nah.
Funny guy. Funny guy.
Wow, wow, wee, wow.
That's what I'm here for.
It's Monday and we're getting spicy.
Oh, he can't post a link without a wrench apparently.
Give him
nope.
a wrench. Can anybody with a wrench give him a wrench? That would be hip.
Yet.
No, I can kick him out, hide him and stuff. Hell, maybe I don't
Can't
have.
tell them leave too.
Yep, sorry, dude, I would.
All right, you're a moderator now, biceps. Hey, you're a moderator now. I hope you're subscribed. Cause like I was looking at the thing and I got to look at it again, but it was somewhere in the 70 percentile range that people that aren't subscribed.
Moderators.
Yeah, all the moderators are not subscribed.
I am
Savage.
I know what's talking.
Beast mode. That's cool.
Well, you know, they just don't want it to become public knowledge that they're fans.
Yeah.
That's possible. But you could hide your subscriptions from people though. I know I hide mine. Tony
We're
showed me
gonna
a few
talk
channels.
about that.
Tony showed me a few channels in the
There
back
you
of
go.
YouTube. The backside of YouTube.
Cue that up for a screen share, Jimmy.
Tell me how to run this shit. Wait a second. Oops, something went wrong. Your link is bullshit.
That is true, Heavy. Everyone gets a wrench.
Here, I got it. I'll give it to you.
You got, yeah, but it fucking is yours expired or not?
No, that works right there.
Hang on, let me where am I at here? Let me see where I'm at, Sean.
Jesus Christ, we're gonna all expire before
Just
you get
screen
this thing
share
going.
your
well, fuck it
screen,
then.
screen share your private message because it's got the play window built into it.
If that's what happens, that's what happens. Wait a second. I'm doing too much. I can't get to the here. I can get to the fucking.
Welcome back, everybody. The president speaking now.
Shut up, lady.
Are you trying to do this all on your fucking phone?
No,
Welcome back, everybody.
absolutely not. That would be ridiculous. All right, so now let me share on fucking.
There you go.
On OBS.
Yep, there you go.
First.
I can see it. Oh, you just play it right there.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like it's gonna
Full screen
be
it.
lagged for you guys. Ain't it gonna be lagged though?
It's fine.
Okay, hold on.
God, that means I'm gonna have to undo. Wait.
Yep.
I could do both.
Bill O'Reilly is screaming at the screen right now.
Here. It might we actually though, we may now that I think about it, we may lose. I'll just do 15 rates. Okay, so if you want to watch over here, I got it over here too.
There you go.
There's play button. So now I got both.
President speaking now after his arrival at the White House. Let's listen in.
Sir, do you think there is anything different in how Republicans will approach the gun reform question now, given the circumstances?
Since I haven't spoken to them, I don't know, but my guess is that they have yes, I think they're going to have to take a hard look.
Is there one element? Is it age? Is it red flag? Is it some component that you think could be most successful now?
Well, that's hard to say because I've not been negotiating with any of the Republicans yet. And I deliberately did not engage in a debate about that with any Republican when we were down consoling the families in Texas. So I don't know what is how far it goes. I know that it makes no sense to be able to purchase something that can fire up to 300 rounds. I know what happened when we had rational action before, back in the Crime Bill, which was the law that got passed. It did significantly cut down mass murder. And so there's only one reason for something that can fire, 100 shots. I mean, and I'll just conclude with this. Look, when I first started doing hearings on the issue of what rational gun laws should be, it was during a period when I was a senator and the death rate was going up. Not that many more people were being shot, but the death rate was up. And I think it was, I'm not sure, I think it was Kahneman Hospital in New York, whatever the largest trauma hospital is. And I sat with a trauma doc. And I asked him, I said, what's the difference? Why are so many people, not that many more people were being shot? This is now 20 years ago, or 25 years. I said, why are they dying?
Story
and he
just
showed
changed.
me a x-ray. He said a 22 caliber bullet will lodge in the lung, and we can probably get it out, may be able to get it and save the life. A 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body. So the idea of these high caliber weapons is
Who told us this?
a 9mm, we can probably get it out. 22 caliber showed me a 25 years. I said, why are they dying? And they showed me a x-ray. He said a 22 caliber.
A doctor said this?
think he said a commandant.
Hold on.
Why are so many people at Kahneman Hospital in New York, whatever the largest trauma hospital is? And I sat with a trauma doc.
Trauma
I asked him,
hospital
I
in
said,
New York. Okay.
what's the difference? Why are so many people, they're not millimeter bullet blows the lung out of the body. So a 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body. So the idea of these high caliber weapons is there's simply no rational basis for it in terms of about self-protection, hunting. I mean, and remember, the Constitution, the Second Amendment, was never absolute. You couldn't buy a cannon when the Second Amendment was passed.
Did you hear that?
All right, I've had enough of Captain Sundowner.
Did you hear the fucking Constitution isn't absolute?
Yeah, he said that before several times though.
Okay, I don't pay attention to him, but okay.
Favorite part is you shouldn't be able to own a gun that can fire 300 rounds, and then he turns around and he says you shouldn't have a gun that can shoot 100 rounds. So I think what he's actually proposing is he wants guns that are only 22 caliber and they're only made out of balsa wood so that they break after 10 shots because he doesn't want to shoot 100 rounds. He wants disposable guns. We're coming back to the good old Ravens and the Saturday Night Specials made out of that zinc garbage.
My fucking favorite part, they're all calling him a liar in the comments. My favorite part is that he really fucking said that a trauma doctor told him this on live television.
Yeah, I want that doctor's name so I can have him discredited from the medical industry.
I want them to do one of them fucking a live doctor reacts or something like that. I want them to do one of that fucking to this video. I guarantee you they can make 15 minutes of content out of that shit.
Yeah, let's get that really smoking hot Dr. Jeanette Neshawat from New York.
Oh yeah, that'll do.
That'll
do.
I'm still having nightmares from your fucking thing with my county judge. Neshawat's way better.
Yeah, you know what though? I'm a settler. I settle. I settle for a fucking menudo and a back rub.
So the Second Amendment is not absolute, even though it says shall not be infringed, which is you can't interpret shall not be infringed for anything but absolute.
People couldn't buy cannons.
Exactly, and Ozzy nailed it.
Yes, you can.
Back in the American Revolution, almost all the cannons of the Revolutionary Army was privately owned.
You can still own a cannon.
No, people that I've heard that before. That people donated their cannons in the fucking war.
Yeah, they brought their own.
Yep.
So.
Which was a logistics nightmare, but you know.
Hey, it still worked.
Hey, if it worked, it worked. Exactly. If it worked, it worked. Fuck it. All right.
Disposable guns that can only shoot 10 rounds and then break. And can't fire 100 or 300.
Can't be anything other than 22 either.
Can't be anything other than 22.
Yeah, 22 we could dig it out and they'll still live.
So I'm gonna point out the most glaring fault in his logic. Do you remember back in the day when he was running for office saying that he isn't saying that you can't own guns because he owns shotguns?
Yeah.
Does that mean he's never fired his shotgun because he's never seen what it's capable of?
Either that or he probably has it filled with birdshot and he probably doesn't know that a 22
Do you know what birdshot does at a lung point blank?
Nonetheless, Sean.
I'm just saying.
This man has probably shot clay. That's it. If
Yeah.
that, I'm talking about in his younger years. Nowadays, if Biden never offered me to go shooting, I would have to fucking respectfully decline.
I know this is a real long shot, but Garantham, if you're out there or you ever catch this video, will you please, because I know you're the guy for the job, because I love his who was the guy that played Batman that's from Australia that I like?
Patterson?
No.
Pattinson?
No, the other one.
Val Kilmer?
No,
George
after
Clooney?
him. No, after him.
Christian Bale.
Garantham has Christian Bale's level of cynicism when he played Bruce Wayne. So he's the perfect guy for this job. Please, go find out what shotgun Biden owns or owned. Get your hands on one. put birdshot in it, take one of your ballistics rib cages and abdomens, and shoot it point blank facing the camera so we can watch the lungs of that thing blow out into the lens.
Oh, and I guarantee you too, I've made this argument before, but Christian Bale in Batman v Superman, completely different movie.
Would have loved that.
Completely different movie.
Are we going to go into that? Can we go into that a little bit?
Go ahead, we're wrapping it up soon anyway, so yeah, we're gonna do what do you want to talk about. So Sean, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I have a theory about Batman. In the past series of TVs and movies, most actors who have played Batman was either a very good Bruce Wayne and a shitty Batman, or a very bad Bruce Wayne and a good Batman, and very few were both. Michael Keaton was probably both. Val Kilmer was neither. George Clooney was a great Bruce Wayne, but a terrible Batman. Christian Bale was probably the ultimate Bruce Wayne and a half decent Batman. And I got to admit this, if it wasn't for that stupid voice modulator, Ben Affleck was a great Bruce Wayne and not a bad Batman. It was
Yeah,
that voice modulating thing that really ruined it for me.
it did. It took me out of it, but I didn't really like Affleck. I
He
don't
had the
know.
perfect Bruce Wayne look, though, didn't he?
Yes, yeah. Comic book wise, yes.
But I mean, as Batman, there were definitely worse ones. Like, I'm okay with him being Batman. The only reason Val Kilmer wasn't, or not Val Kilmer, Christian Bale wasn't Batman anymore was after Heath Ledger died. Everyone involved in that project kind of was like, yeah, we should walk away from this. I'm not feeling it anymore. So that's why they kind of wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Because Jared Leto is Joker, fuck that.
But I thought they did the
No,
fucking no, they did the Bane one after that. They just were like, oh, this is gay. I'm not
Yeah,
doing
they
it.
kind of wrapped it up, and they were just like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. But that was a great setup. And the same thing for like Alfred Pennyworth, right? Like the original guy from Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne, perfect Alfred. Michael Caine, decent Alfred. Jeremy Irons,
no.
Dark
No.
Horse Surprise, fantastic. Like they really honed in on his I was an ex SAS special forces guy before I became a butler for the Wayne Manor.
Yeah, like I could really keep up with Bruce here.
That was
I
awesome.
could keep up with Batman looking ass. Fucking get
Yeah.
out of here.
Like my ultimate setup would be Christian Bale's Batman, Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, Jeremy Irons Alfred. Oh, and fun Batman trivia. If you guys remember in the late 90s to early 2000s there was a Batman cartoon on the WB. It was very art deco drawn, and then they did the Mask of the Phantasm movie that was in the same
Oh
style.
yeah, the animated series. Of course, I
Yeah.
grew up with that.
Do you guys remember Victor Fries
Yeah.
in that? He was like a tired, rageful old man in that suit.
Yeah. I remember he still had his wife and all that, but I can't really call what his
He was really
mannerism and
angry.
shit was. Yeah.
He was
He
an
was
old
always
man.
he was always pissed off. Yes.
Yeah. The original person that was supposed to be cast as Mr. Freeze back in the 60s was Clint Eastwood. Now look at his face today and tell me he would not make the perfect, angry, cynical, bitter, hateful Victor Freeze today. He'd be the perfect candidate.
He's got the same little beady eyes too and everything.
Same skeletal face,
Yep. Everything.
and we'll never get it. And that's heartbreaking. The perfect person for the role, and we're never going to have it. Anyway, that was my thing, I guess.
No, I got you. I'm a Batman fan myself. Tony knows. But Night Strike, what do you got for me? Anything you want to talk about? Something? Anything happening in North Carolina? Any misfortunes? Are you mad about the
South Carolina
trigger and the
and
ATF?
no, there's nothing going on right now, other than I saw that the ATF rescinded the letter they sent to the cease and desist letter to JSD Supply, but the problem is that's 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 still an underlying problem because
Well, yeah, but they had to rescind
they're
because they were getting
they're,
sued
they're
or something,
still
weren't they?
they're getting sued by everybody,
Right.
but JSD hasn't dropped their lawsuit because they're waiting to see the determination from the judge in their lawsuit because the judge could legitimately just slap the ATF.
Well, technically they were on hold, and technically it was because the ATF told them to. So
I have a question about that.
what?
Um, has the NRA had any opinion on this situation?
Nope.
I don't
And is the
think so.
GOA the ones that are actually defending this shop?
The GOA, and the SAF. Those are the only two that have anything to say about it.
So why are some of our people at the NRA show right now then? Remind me.
I don't know.
Okay. It's in my city and I'm not going. What does that tell you?
Isn't it over by now?
Probably.
Yeah.
It was over the first day it started. Did you see the army of harpies out there screaming?
Yeah, I saw.
I asked my boss.
That's what I want to know.
Oh, they had. So it was. So they did have a lot of antis there.
Yeah. And Robert Francis O'Rourke was there, and I had every inclination to dress up as Deadpool with my RPK strapped to my back with a sign that says, "His name is Francis."
Did you see where the mayor of that Texas town slapped his ass down?
Yeah. Yeah. Called him a sick son of a bitch and a stupid asshole for making a scene. You know what the worst part about that whole situation was? 100% staged, because an eyewitness who was in the chair right next to where he sat said that there were two placeholders sitting there, and when he showed up, they got a text message. They saw their text. The guy looked over and saw the text saying that Beto had arrived, and then he got up. Those people got up, and he sat in their seat. The whole thing was set up.
Oh, like he
Robert
was. Like
Francis O'Rourke.
they were the fucking placeholders, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. They were just keeping the seat there so he can take it when he got there. This was all set up.
Wow.
I mean, why would
that mayor?
why would anybody believe anything he's got to say anyway? He's never won any election he's been in for the last 7 or 8 years. Fake Mexican, real pendejo. Fourth generation Irishman, Robert Francis. Every time there's a story about him on like Fox or my local news, my only comment is stop using his culturally appropriated name. You're offending Latinos.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what the best part is? My local news, right? All weekend had stories about the protests, nothing about the actual insides of the show, just the protests, right? Their entire website had every comment section turned off for every story because people would leave comments about the NRA show protests in like the weather report or the sports thing. So they shut off the comments on their whole website for the whole weekend.
Oh my god. Nobody could speak back at all. That's hilarious.
They just carpet bombed their diarrhea all over the web. Journalistic integrity is dead. It's gone.
Yeah, I would argue.
And Jimmy
that
wants to
it's
sleep
been
with
that
my
way.
county judge.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the bullet. I'll take one
Take
for
her
the team.
away, please.
Jimmy, I'm gonna have to head out, so you guys take it easy.
All right, man. Later, nice strike. Thanks for coming in. You got one of your shows. You're coming on Tuesday, right?
If I do it this week, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let us know.
It depends on what happens. So I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for stopping
Later,
by.
night
Later.
shark.
All right, Tony. Anything magical? You got to have something going on over there in the hood.
No.
All right.
I was going to say something, but I can't remember. So good day, everybody.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. You're not going anywhere, are you?
No.
Okay.
No, me and the old lady got COVID.
Well, I am. I don't know if it's gonna be a week or two, but I'm not gonna be here.
Oh, so you are heading out to Phoenix.
Yeah, I got to.
Please take my county judge with you and leave her
What
there.
bank you going to hit?
What?
What bank you going to hit? Make sure I ain't got any money in it.
How many holes did you dig?
Can't tell you on fucking air. None of that shit. The bank.
Can
or
you
the
dig
holes.
one more and just take my county judge?
No.
Nobody watches this.
No. Right,
I
but
don't
I
know.
know my luck. It'll be the one fucking time.
That one time.
That one time.
Never mind the lists we're on. That one time.
We'll go completely fucking viral.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But yeah, so I don't know, but I'll keep you guys posted, or maybe Tony will, or fucking something. We'll see. Bye.
Bye.
Oh wait, Sean, you got anything you got to plug? When are you coming on?
Friday. I moved the War Room to Fridays only just because of the lack of stories, and that way I could do it sort of like my old week in review type format. So
Okay.
Fridays around 8:30 p.m. Central. Other than that, I'm about to go film me taking apart my Savage 1907 pistol for This Old Get.
Wait,
And
your
I've
Savage what? I fucking. What'd you say?
Savage. I got a Savage 1907 that I'm fixing to disassemble and boil.
Okay.
So I'll do This Old Get on that. And then this whole week, I'm doing a penny arcade on a game called Out There. So if you like space RPG type things, you're probably going to love that. And it's got a really clever intro, which I only did for this series. So you'll probably like it, Star Trek-esque.
Sammy, to be honest, I don't feel bad. I don't know that I actually have COVID. The old lady does. Assuming I do. I don't feel bad. But thanks anyway.
Yeah, how's she doing? She fucking recovering well off of that, or is it killing
I
her,
don't
or
know.
what?
I don't fucking talk to her. God, I don't want to get it if I don't got it.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's got a quarantine. Slide her soup under the door or something like that.
Wait a
Thank God
minute, that
for
mean-
ramming in a microwave.
Does that mean you're giving it to the old lady through a glory hole? Like, you stay on your side of the wall. I don't want your kung flu.
Don't cough on it and touch your face.
Keep
Well,
the
I
goods
don't
coming. Lean up against that wall, honey.
I don't want to, give away that I am still tagging, but priorities.
I'm just visualizing that scene in Naked Gun 33 1/3 with Draven and what's her face in full body condoms right now.
No.
Tony's breaking quarantine. He's what's that? The 28 weeks later, where the guy goes in to kiss his wife and then he fucking turns into a zombie immediately.
Yup.
Yeah, bye, Tony.
Bye.
Nice knowing you. Leave me an outlaw.
All right, have a good day, everybody. We'll keep you posted, but that ain't gonna be this week.
You're watching the NWP podcast. You're watching the new one live.